Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Red Devils Advocates. I'm Andy, joined by Sean. How are you doing?
You know what? There's a small part of me that still thinks that we can win the league.
Oh, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that.
That's how I'm doing, though.
Positivity. I love to see it. Well, make sure you drop a like on this video, subscribe to Red Devils Advocates, and tap the bell so you get notified every time we drop a video. It's the original twosome, the two-man midfield. Let's go. And we're gonna go straight into this. Roma, I forget, we lost, right?
we lost 3-2, but we should have won.
Yeah, we should.
Cavani should have got like 4 or 5 goals. But that also being said, I feel like Roma could have at least got another 2.
Yeah. To be fair, I did watch Ollie's post-match interview, and he did pretty much say the exact same thing. Could have been 6-6, could have been 6-5. It was one of those games. It was very end-to-end. I think the reason it was only 3-2 is because we have De Gea in between the posts.
100%.
He saved a goal. He saved a goal at point-blank range. And my word, I was just like, De Gea, why is this club disrespecting you? Please. But I mean, yeah, as you said, Cavani robbed of a hat trick, one of the greatest robberies of the decade so far. He is an absolute beast. And I know I've been high on Martial, but my word, I don't even remember what his first name is with Cavani playing.
Wow, he's being disrespected now.
I'm sorry to say. I gave him time. I know he's injured, yeah, but it's not an excuse. So, no, kidding aside, I've obviously Martial, I still love him a lot. I would prefer for him to stay at the club post summer. Look, Cavani's a better striker. Cavani's is a better player. I cannot continue to withdraw or deprive him of his flowers. And it's not going to be 5 years' time when I'm going to give Cavani his respect. I'm giving it right now. The best number 7 since Michael Owen, definitely. Since Ronaldo, that's a shout. He has everything that we're missing at the club right now. Rashford is a great player. Like, he's been having absolute stinkers, but he's still scoring more than certain people's number 9s. He is so good. But when you give him time, he doesn't know what to do. Greenwood is young, and he's developing his game, but I feel he's very limited in what he can do, what he can give us right now. And, that's something he's going to change in time. Cavani, let me talk about Martial. He's having a rough season right now. The suspension, the lack of goals. Despite him being a really good player, he's not giving us the end result. A couple of those points we missed, could be down to his misses. Cavani fixes all of those problems because he's got the time. He's got the energy. He's got the poacher. He's willing to break his nose. He's willing to break parts of his body to score goals for us. He doesn't care how pretty they look. He's not trying to cut in. He's not trying to be talked about on a match of the day by Alan Shearer and Ian Wright and all them man there. He just wants the goals. He wants to go home, talk about football, come back in, break legs on the pitch. That's it. Sorry, Sean. I had to give Cavani his praise, his dues, because I've been rough. I've been harsh on him, I think.
I've been the same way, and I've wondered about the club. Like we had Martial, Rashford, and Greenwood all scoring more than 20 goals each last season. Why would you want to interfere with that? Who was I to know that Martial would be playing the way that he's playing and Greenwood wouldn't be getting played at all?
Yeah.
Obviously, you say about Greenwood's not giving, or it's not that you say he didn't give everything, like not being able to give the same things. I feel it's because he's not been played. I feel like he's been massively underutilized this season. The fact that Daniel James has probably had more game time than him currently, that it's just outrageous behavior. As far as Martial goes, I don't know how he got injured. He's not been played. He's
Phil
not
Jones,
been playing. How does he get injured?
It's the Phil Jones injury. I'm telling you, Sean. It's Phil Jones. Like, massive respect to him, but Rio Ferdinand once got injured, like taking up the trash or something. He got, like, when you put your feet up on the table when you're watching TV, he pulled something doing that. So, like, these weird injuries can happen. I think it's probably one of those.
It has to be. There's no other reason for it. It doesn't make sense, because obviously the less time you work out, the more inclined you are to get injured. Like, that's science, as Taryn likes to say. But at the same time, just because you're not getting first team football doesn't mean you're not hitting the gym or hitting the training pitch every day. So what kind of things is he doing to be out for this length of time? It's mind-boggling to me. But as you said with Rashford, absolutely amazing player. He has definitely carried the team the first half of the season. But the moment that you give him any time to think on the ball, he panics. He passes it off. He tries to take an extra touch that he doesn't need to do, or he just stands there. Whereas with Cavani, like, he thinks about his placement. He thinks about where he's positioned as well. Like, everything that he does, there is a reason behind doing it. And you're noticing it more and more, especially with Bruno and Greenwood. And I feel like Rashford still has a bit of a thing going on with Cavani, because in the more recent game, he blasted the ball at Cavani when it could have been an easy just like little tap across.
Yeah, that was weird. Even the commentators were like, "Oh, he just blasted it at him."
But whatever's going on with it, like, there's been great teamwork, and Cavani is the center of all of it. He really has been, and I feel like he's getting disrespected because of his age, and it's not fair to say that he can't last another season and he won't do the same things again. If he doesn't, fair enough. It's like our mistake. We still have enough players to back it up, but don't be saying just because he's above the age of 30 that he isn't good enough to be playing in the Premier League.
Yeah. That's a very good point. And I think a lot of us need to remove European bias as well from us, because we've seen Cavani dominate in Serie A. We've seen him dominate in Ligue 1. I forgot what the French league was called. And, it's that argument that Messi gets sometimes. He hasn't beaten Stoke on a cold, rainy Tuesday night, so he can't be the best in the world or the best of all time. And I think that's nonsense. I think a good player is a good player, no matter who they're playing against. We saw it with Fernandes. It was a big doubt, him coming into the club last January, because a lot of us thought that he's dominating in whatever the Portuguese league is called, and he wouldn't be able to translate that to the Premier League. And what it really was he was so good, he was shining in that crappy league. And now he's here at like a high level league, and he's still doing that work. And I think Cavani's the same. I now regret the club not signing him from Napoli, because imagine the years he could have given us with this high level, and he's slowing down now. Like, yeah, like we massively missed the boat out, but he's officially signed a year extension today, so very happy for that. And as you said, Sean, even if he does have a below average season, we've got more than enough people to eat his spot. Martial is he's going to have the biggest chip on his shoulder, so he's waiting for an opportunity to play. So
yeah, like, I would absolutely love to see Cavani in his current form alongside with Martial in his form from last season. They'd be tearing people apart. And if Pogba decides to stay as well, if he again, I am the president of the Hate Pogba Club, right? I will not shy away from that. The man, for what he is worth, for what he has done at United, he's caused more problems than he's caused solutions. So if he goes, I would be happy to see the end of him. But if he stays, because they keep wanting to sign that extra 1 year, and he keeps putting performances like that he has been, I'm not going to shy away from it. At the end of the day, his performance since December has improved massively. And I feel Like, if you have an inform Cavani, Rashford, Martial, Fernandes, and Pogba on the pitch, we will be a force to go for the Premier League next season.
Yeah, don't forget Greenwood. Like,
oh yeah, great, of course, but
okay, those 5 or 6 players, yeah, they're doing a lot of work, and it's actually funny. We had a chat in the group chat, and you were saying how you feel like the club is being carried by 4 really good players, and I think that the club is being dragged down by like 3 or 4 players, and I think everyone else is really like Premier League contender ready. Like, you got Luke Shaw, who is by far the best left back in the league, and I'm not hearing anything about that. That position's locked down. I think Wan-Bissaka is the best right back in the league. I'm going to go on record and say that. And De Gea is still the best keeper in the league for me. So I think we've got obviously he's moving on, with Henderson promoted, but that's good. 6, 7, 8 players. And I think you've heard it before, a good Premier League winning side tends to have 7 or 8 really good players, and then 3 maybe average or below average players. Yeah, any final takeaways from the Roma game?
From the Roma game, right. I feel like they really put us to the grindstone on that. I feel they learned from their overconfidence of the first game of Ollie doesn't know who we are. Let's show them who we are. Oh crap, we don't know who we are. Let's go reevaluate that real quick. So I feel like they kind of readjusted themselves and actually gave us a match worth watching. Obviously, it's unfortunate that we lost. Like, as Ollie loves to say, 5 margins. Either team could have won that match. Overall, it was an enjoyable match. So, yeah. Glad that we're in the finals. Shame it's not against Arsenal.
I mean, it would be an easier final.
It would be. It would be an easier final.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not trying to hear good evening. Nah, man, none of that. I mean, we'll get to the predictions for that game in a bit, but yeah, same as you. I'm a bit annoyed that we lost that game. Ollie was annoyed, which is really good to hear, because we get this agenda, this narrative that Ollie is so positive, he never gets annoyed at anything, etc., etc. And that showed it wasn't the case. We had the skills, we had the people to put the game to bed. We took off the left back and the right back, and everything went to shit. But the main thing is we're in the final. Ollie's in his first final, which is very important. And, according to Ty, we're about to see some aliens, so bring it on.
Bro. Ollie's going to get onto the side of the pitch, take his mask off. You're going to see a little green man there.
We're going to see, we have to see something mad. It's the finals. We've got to see something mad. Also, this week, we had Aston Villa away at Villa Park, which is being rumoured to be the final destination for the Champions League for some reason. I don't know why. Just have it at Wembley. Makes more sense.
So I know why. So Villa actually approached UEFA about the situation because they were going to be allowing fans to go to, is it Istanbul?
Yes.
They were like, well, obviously COVID's still a thing. Save the 10,000 people travelling, and putting everyone at risk. Have it here in England. Our stadium's ready. UEFA went, your stadium's not exactly ready though, is it? So now there's talks about having it at the Spurs stadium. So,
oh wow! I mean, I guess that's as close as the club is ever going to get.
Which one's going to get? But yeah, they're currently in talks with both Villa and Tottenham about having it at either stadium, but the Villa Park doesn't actually meet the set standards for European football. So,
yikes!
They were politely told maybe. We will get back to you about that.
Yeah. Don't contact us. We'll contact you. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I think Wembley makes more sense. We already have it for the finals for the FA Cup, and I want to say the Carabao Cup. It makes more sense. It's the national stadium. It's big. It's really big, and it's neutral enough.
90,000.
90,000. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, we traveled to Villa and we beat them 3-1. You love to see it.
You do.
What are your takeaways from that match?
When people try to cheat, justice is served with a swift but firm hammer.
You know what? You know what? He finessed me. The first time I saw that, I was like, Henderson, what are you doing, you idiot? And then I saw the replay. Henderson, yeah, might be the smartest guy on the pitch because he saw Watkins was begging for it. He was gagging for that penalty. I was like, no, I'm not gonna let you have it. I'm very happy about the ref as well. He saw through that shameless facade. You're a cheat, and I hope you get relegated. And yeah, man, like De Gea is better than Henderson right now, 100%. But I think Ollie is playing him into form, like you said with Greenwood. He's not going to get better if he doesn't play, and he is the long-term project. So I get it.
Yeah, no, obviously we've spoken about before. Like Henderson is definitely up there for being one of the best keepers in the leagues, no doubt in my mind.
100%.
And it wouldn't be fair to only play him in the cup matches at this point, where De Gea is getting older. Obviously, with the recent performances, you can safely say that De Gea is the better keeper, but it has to be done for our future.
I agree. Yeah. So how did you feel when Villa went 1-0 up in 24 minutes?
You know what? Yeah. Yes, man. Yeah. The Iceman got turned into like a slush puppy. Like he tackled him. He tackled him, and then was like, you know, have another crack at it. What exactly happened? Like he kicked the ball off of him. He gave him the extra 2 yards, and then he was like, "That's a goal." We need better defenders. That's the kind of thing you expect from Maguire.
It's true. We're gonna get to him. Like this match had everything. It's like a wrestling match, man. There's so much story going on, different areas of the pitch. I agree with Lindelof being the final nail in the coffin. We had several chances to stop that goal, but I think the main culprits are the midfield Chuckle brothers, McTominay and Fred. My word, get them in a white van and get them the fuck out of Carrington. I'm sick and tired of them.
Real quick, yeah, just to throw it back to Roma. The third goal, I'm pretty sure it's the third goal we conceded when Fred tried to outplay two players. Why? Pass the ball out. There's a player directly to your left that you can give the ball to. He was like, no, I've got this. There's two players on me. I'm Brazilian. Yeah, I've turned on my 5-star skills. I'm gonna outplay everyone. Instant goal. Oh. And then we go to Aston Villa.
Was that the game that Fred actually got subbed off and then Ollie hugged him? I can't remember. It was either that game or the return game, in the first game in the OT. Anyway, yeah. But yeah, I'm not going to lie. Too many goals we are conceding because of Fred. And like, I'm not going to single him out because like he's the one causing it, but he's involved. Like if there was a stat for goal conceding involvement, Fred would be the top of the league, especially at least the top of the club. Because I remember the one in the FA Cup. I remember the one when Fred and Maguire, both farted their brains out. And then there's this one where he's trying to play, 5-yard, what's it, one-touch passing with McTominay, and McTominay's like, "What the fuck are you doing, you dickhead?" We talk about Rashford's IQ being low. I'm not having that, but Fred's IQ, whoa, negative figures, man.
Here's the thing, yeah. Fred has adapted Maguire's stat padding abilities. He's like, it's not just me if someone else is involved as well. Yeah,
that's
like
fair.
If I'm going to be looking bad, yeah, it's going to be someone else's fault before it's going to be my fault. And that's what Fred's been doing recently. Like, again, I can't remember what match it was, but the whole thing between Pogba, Fred, and the referee, where it hits the referee in between, and then Fred goes to get it, stops, and then scrambles to chase after it afterwards. The man, But you might have the soft heart for to not blame him, yeah. But again, I'm the president of the hate club, and but to reiterate really quickly, because obviously we've seen it in the past, and I know I've already covered it, but hating a player on their footballing techniques and their abilities, yeah, that's acceptable when they are bad. There is no reason to bring race, religion, politics, or anything else into the game. If you do that, you are scum. Yeah? Capital letters, bold, underline, italic, exclamation mark. That is you. Yeah? You belong to the streets if you do that.
Oh, right? No.
If you want to call him shit, go for it. He's a shit player. Be my guest. I will support you. But the moment that you bring race into it, be gone. Right?
Yeah, 100% agree.
Fred's fucking shit, man. He's fucking shit.
I like how you went from wholesome to absolutely toxic in 5 seconds. Love to see it, man. I was just gonna piggyback off your point and say, yeah, obviously we here at Red Devils Advocate completely and 100% against racism or discrimination of any kind. On that note, I agree with you, Sean. Fred is shit, and I would sell him for a packet of cheese and onion crisps, and I am allergic to dairy. So there you go.
Oh, jeez. Man's willing to put his life on the line just to get rid of Fred.
I will have a margarita pizza if it means Fred will not be at the club come August. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Not like this, Andy. Not like this.
Man. So my earlier point when I said I feel 3 or 4 players are actually dragging down the club, and I mean first teamers who Ollie has faith in. They are getting played more often than they're on the bench. Fred, Maguire, McTominay, Lindelof. Those 4 players are for me the reason why we're not closer to City right now. I think next season we can do a much better campaign, but I do believe that our defending is the reason that we have pretty much gifted the title to City. Personally, like at one point we were the highest scoring team in the league, and I don't think we're far off right now. So I don't we're not scoring 3, 4, 5 goals a game, but our attack definitely isn't the issue.
Yeah, we're currently 5 goals behind City with 67 scored. But then our conceding
67 is a lot.
And then our conceding, we've conceded 36. So we've conceded 10 more than City have. To be fair to us, we've lost less games than City have, but we've drawn double the amount that they have drawn. And that's where the issue lies. The issue lies in conceding stupid goals at the last minute. The issue lies with playing players who aren't going to push on the edge, who can't pass, who can't dribble, who can't shoot. Yeah, that's all Fred, by the way.
Whoa. I would just like to remind you that we paid 50 million for him.
Mate, you know what? Yeah, swing it back about what 10 years. Take that 50 million. Go get Raheem Sterling or Andy Carroll. I'd have either one of them right now. I don't care.
I'd have Sterling. What a player.
But the only point that I disagree with, so I agree with you on the 4 that you named. However, I have a slight leniency towards McTominay because of the amount of goals that he has scored. Comparing to some of our attackers, he's actually up there with scoring goals. So, and there's a couple games where if he didn't score, we would have drawn or lost again. So I'm happy for him to be around, but obviously we can do better. As far as Fred, Lindelof, and Maguire go, Lindelof's let me down massively. I didn't think it would happen, but the thing is, I feel like Lindelof's stats are getting worse because he's playing alongside Maguire. The man is doing 2-man jobs. Maguire's just floating around doing whatever he wants, whereas Lindelof is trying to cover two sets of spaces, and because we're constantly zonal marking, he's just completely fucked, really. But that being said, though, when Bailly or Twanzebe's been there, they've managed to cover it. It might just be pace, might just be skill. I don't know, but yeah, it's a bit tough.
Well, you did mention Bailly and Twanzebe, and this might be a lucky sign for one of them because, thoughts and prayers. Harry Maguire limped off the pitch. He did not complete the game. This is the first
challenge ever. Okay.
So, interesting stats. Maguire has played every minute of every Premier League game since he's been a United player. So, the first game he hasn't completed as United player in the Premier League. What are your thoughts on this?
Couldn't have happened sooner. Couldn't have happened to a nicer man. Oh, what a shame.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah,
just hoping he doesn't recover before the final.
I obviously I don't want any United player to be injured, even Phil Jones. I just hope that the manager has enough intelligence to not use second-rate players in the first team.
I've just had an absolute fear, Andy.
What
if Phil Jones hasn't actually been injured for a while and he's just been chilling and he's been waiting for this moment? And the lineup is going to be Lindelof and Jones.
As long as that's not the lineup for the Europa League final, I'm happy because at this point, I need the trophy. I need to get away from that horrible competition. Like, I don't want to see Jones anywhere near the bench. Get some kids from the youth set up. Mate, I'm telling you now, you can get 16-year-olds in the centre-back position. They'll do a better job than Phil Jones. He's garbage. Phil Jones and Maguire did be a terrific centre-back pairing. But, like, for a team like Coventry or something like that, not for Man United, not having it. What I wanted to say, and I completely got sidetracked. I hope Bailly gets some game time. Obviously, he came on today, and I think he looked shaky for like a millisecond. He had the ball once, and then he kind of felt like, but it was like 60, 70 minutes into the game. I want to say it was deep into the game.
It was deep into the second half.
Yeah, and then like he got very comfortable very quickly. He's very, he's well experienced. Signed a new deal not too long ago. I'm hoping he works his butt off to remove either Lindelof or Maguire from the first team setup because I think the opportunity is there, honestly. I think if we're looking at our main centre-backs that Oli likes to use, Lindelof is the weak of the two all around. So I think that Bailly has the chance to displace him and maybe save some money on the centre-back, but I don't see him displacing Maguire.
I'd rather keep Lindelof, but yet like Maguire is the poster boy for Ollie's favoritism.
Yeah.
If he was allowed to be like this guy right here is my favorite, yeah, none of you are shit compared to this, but he would do it, and it'd be Maguire.
Not Cavani, not Fernandes.
Nah. The way that this man loves off Maguire, yeah, Cavani like gets subbed off, Fernandes gets subbed off, Rashford gets subbed off, yeah, Maguire.
Fair. That's fair.
Every single time, literally every single time that he's allowed to play, he's on the pitch.
What I will say is a counterpoint to that, as devil's advocate, I would say that we wrap Cavani in bubble wrap because we don't want him to get injured. Like if he's not playing, it's because we're saving him, not because he can't play. That's my one counterpoint. But I think if he was fit, he'd be playing every minute.
That's fair.
I mean, ideally, we just get Bailly and Twanzebe in. Honestly, the answer's right there. Bailly's experience. Twanzebe's strong. He's pocketed the best players in the world. Like, it's there.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though. Like, you would look at those examples and you'd be like, let's give them some more time where we can. The ones where, to be fair, you could have played either of them in the first round. We were 6-2 up. Just give them some runaround time. It doesn't take you're allowed 5 substitutes. That's a lot. That's a lot of people. Yeah, and at no point you're like, defenders though. And the thing is that both of the goals in the first match came from defending errors. At least 2 of the goals in the second match came from defending errors. You have to pay attention to these kind of things. Like, there's enough people outside of our friend group and everyone saying they're saying the same things that we are. So it's not as if we're just being biased or anything like that. There's a huge population of the United fan base saying it is the centre-backs causing the problems. But Ollie's there with his pink rose-tinted glasses on, being like, these guys look good.
Oh, man. I will never forget the interview that there was. I think there were 2 different post-game interviews that Maguire did. In one of them, he said, if only we had scored more goals, we'd have won the game. It wasn't a clean sheet, yeah? So maybe focus on stopping conceding goals, because that's something you can actively control. But obviously, he's a dickhead who likes to blame other people for his failures. And then the other one was when he went, I had a great goal. I had a great shot. Keeper saved it, but it would have been a worldie. Why are you picking yourself up on a shot that didn't even go in, man? Not even Fred does that. Yeah, man. He's got some issues.
My favourite one today is still when he goes, you have to understand the basics of football. When he doesn't understand the basics of football.
Yeah. How many times have we seen him keep a man onside and then we concede?
Or how many times have we seen him just hanging out a left wing, having a chat with the Galdem and being like, you know what, yeah.
Oh, shit.
I can make all this go away.
Oh yeah, that meme where he chatted up the girl, he definitely did that when he Woodward resigned. Yeah, man, I just walked in there, I was like, I'm the boss now. Get out, pack your bags. I want you gone by 5 p.m. Class. Oh man, yeah. Well, I mean, there are some positives with the game. Rashford, even though I don't think he had a good game, assisted Cavani very well. That was a great ball. He's doing that a few times lately, so he is developing his game. We talk about Ollie being not us, but people say Ollie's a PE teacher and he's not good enough, and we definitely see the players developing under him. We said it. I will say, even though
I saw his stats recently, though,
they're crazy.
The wins to losses. The wins to losses is absolutely amazing. But hang on a second, if I can find them real quickly, because I think everyone's calling him a PE teacher and all the rest of it, right? In the Premier. Wait, is this his personal? This is his managerial side. Yeah. So in the Premier League, he's had 112 matches. He's won just under double. He's won 53. He's drawn 29, and then he's lost 29.
That's a really good record.
That's a really good record. And the stats that I saw of the all comps had something like winning 70 or 80 in comparison to the losses, and the wins were over double what he'd lost. And it's and you're still here calling him a second-rate manager when you have people like the Arsenal manager, for example.
Good evening.
Or like Frank Lampard, and it's
yeah.
But these are good managers, Andy. These are great potential. Yeah.
Man, how many times have we had this discussion? And it's out of the 3 managers, Ollie's the worst. Arteta's great because he learned under Pep. Oh man, he's the one who's outlived them both. At proper Premier League clubs. The pressure is, you can't even talk about the pressure being light for Ollie. People have wanted them gone for a very long time. I'm not gonna lie, the pressure's not the same at Chelsea and Arsenal than it is at United. There's a rabid fan base who want immediate success here, and unlike the other clubs, we've had it for some of us all of our lives, dating before us, you know. And that's not to insult Arsenal or Chelsea for for any reason, but like Ollie, I think, has had the hardest ride, the hardest journey, and we've ridden him. You know, we've taken the mick out of him at certain points, and he's earned his respect now. And we cannot continue to call him a PE teacher because that is a damn disrespect. Like, do not get this high in the Premier League. We've had arguably our best season since Jose. You know, with no tactics, with no knowledge of the game. Just give it Rashford and hope. No, we've seen different options utilized throughout these games. And not everything he does works, but I mean, I think we need to put some respect on Ollie's name.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. At the end of the day, he could do better, but it's still a learning curve. This is the first time that he's been in a position like this. And if you compare it to the other clubs that he's worked at, it's a massive step up. And as you said, because we're United and we've spent the money and we have the names, people expect things of a higher caliber from that. Obviously, people had the same, I'd say, or a similar kind of mindset when it came to Lampard when he spent, like, was it 300 million? But at the same time, just because he spent that money doesn't mean it's going to work. Like Real Madrid did it in the early 2000s. They spent the money on everyone. They didn't win bugger all because you can't just buy a fresh new team of players and expect them to work well together. I think Werner's still out there looking for a goal.
Oh, man.
Like one player you can compare him to is Martial, and I'm pretty sure Martial's still outscored him at this point.
Hate to see it.
I might be wrong. You might want to check the stats on that one, but I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure you're right. I think he scores once per like season, and I mean like spring, summer, autumn, winter. Like you can't win a title with that kind of record. Yeah, that is a very good point. And I was actually, admittedly, quite fearful of how good Chelsea would become because it felt like they were growing some sort of culture there with Hudson-Odoi on the right wing. I think Pulisic was in, Abraham, and for whatever reason, Frank Lampard tried. He bought all the new toys, Werner, Havertz, and it's not really worked out for him or any of them.
You notice how Lampard didn't like Kante playing, right?
Yes, I noticed that.
But then Kante has been playing, and suddenly they're in a European Cup final. I mean, like, there's a massive bias on my part because I love Kante. Kante is a great player. I loved him at Leicester. He did absolutely brilliant at Chelsea. I wish he came to United instead. However, you can't argue with the facts and figures. When he wasn't playing, they were losing significantly more. Like, where are they currently in the table? I think they're third. Yeah? And obviously there's 10 other men on the pitch. But I guarantee that Kante had a big swing in that as well.
Yeah, he did, absolutely. In one of the Champions League games, the previous round, Kante was getting hella praise for his performance. He is like a Ferrari engine out there in a world full of Ford Fiestas. He is so good. I don't forgive, accept any reason Frank Lampard has for not playing Kante in favor of Kovacic, Jorginho, any of them man there. You are talking about two average players and one amazing player. I'm not having it. Kante is a world champion for a reason. That midfield, everyone talks about Pogba, and people need to talk about Kante as well, because they are the perfect duo. And I wish we had Kante instead of that bum Fred, but the game's the game. So, but yes, I 100% see your point. As soon as Tuchel came in, Kante started playing, and they're getting results because they weren't third when Frank Lampard was in charge of the club. So
no, they were not. They were around Arsenal and Liverpool positions, but
oh man. I do want to say about the match against Villa, even though we went in halftime 1-0, I was like, we got this second half FC. It's a culture now. I don't know if it's Ollie's, halftime talks. I don't know if it's just we need to concede first so we could sit up properly and like play properly. But yeah, when we go in halftime losing, I don't feel nothing anymore. So, and the mentality of the players.
The thing is, like, there's that sparkle of hope in me, but it's still like it freaks me out. Like this year has just been a mad year all round, and especially when it comes to football. I think we're now. I think either last match or next match should have, if we do it again, will be 25 games in a row, where we've come back from. I think it's in just away form though.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And it's like, oh, this is like we're nearing the record of the Invincibles on away form. I think we're like two games away from doing it on in their record, and it's like, it's just
wow,
it's mad. It's just madness.
I want to give a massive shout out to Greenwood, because his goal was unbelievable. He does it all the time. He cuts in and then shoots on his left, but no one can stop it. Like, Pogba broke the keeper's hands because he shot the ball so hard. And I feel like Greenwood, he's hitting the ball hard enough that he can break keeper's hands. They are letting the goals go in on purpose so they can play another day. I respect it, and we'll take the dubs. I love
like, when the keeper saved it, his hand go floppy. You're like, oh. he felt the power to hit. He's like, no, I'm not risking it. I'm not firming this one, Chief. I can't do it.
Oh man, and of course, unbelievable mentality from Cavani to score that. It's just a traditional number 9. When we talk about the game, a lot of people talk about the fall of the typical number 9 because the game has changed. But Cavani is like one of the last of a dying breed, and yeah, shout out to him once again.
Yeah, like the fact that he started making the run before Rashford even saw him, like it speaks, like, again, about his positioning, and like he ran between 2 defenders, and then Rashford realised what was going on, and if you don't have people making those kind of runs, then you don't get those kind of goals. And Martial, Rashford, they don't do it. They wait there for the ball to come in. They expect the ball to be at their feet so they can put it away. Whereas Cavani's like, put the ball in this area. He did the same thing with Bruno Fernandes. Like, he makes the run first, and then you put the ball near him, and then he will do what he needs to do. It's class. It's class, Andy.
It is class. It's pure class. I agree with that 100%. I think it's just a communication thing. Rashford very much likes. He makes the run when he sees someone on his team have the ball, because then it's just give me the ball. Martial doesn't make that run. Like, we've seen it many times. He likes to come in short, and some games that works, some other games it doesn't. I think you touched on the point where Rashford blasted the ball at Cavani. I think that's a communication issue. And I think in time that will go away, because Rashford and Martial and Greenwood can play so well together. Even with Fernandes, they play really well. Cavani is still his first season here. I would like to believe it's just a communication issue. And Cavani is just one of those players who's like, put the ball in that area, I'll be there. Don't worry about me, I'll be there. Just put the ball there. Love to see it. All right, let's do some quick predictions. It's going to be a rough week. Ollie has complained once again that the beings in power, the powers that be, do not want us to win. And I'm starting to believe him.
Right, so man. Imagine 4 games in 8 days and one of them being abroad.
Yeah, it is nuts. It is nuts. Our first game against Leicester at home. What's your prediction?
We need revenge for the cup. We need to go in there. We need to go strong. Yeah. I said to you earlier that I have a sparkle of hope that we can still win this league. Right? City need 2 points to outdo us, right?
Mm-hmm.
The most we can get is 8 points. The most that you can get is 89. So if they draw and lose, or even draw 2, and then we just absolutely batter everyone else in sight, we can still win this league. So I'm going in with that mindset, and I'm hoping Ollie will as well. And I'm going to say that we're going to beat Leicester 3-0.
Jeez, clean sheet, you know. Maybe because Maguire's not playing. Yeah, I predict a win as well, just because we have to, and we haven't really talked about it, but we will after this. I'm going to say 1-0. We're going to keep it simple. 5-yard goal. Cavani. And we did, you know, mention this throughout the show. You quite rightly said it. We need to win every single one of our games to be in contention of winning our 21st league title. City just need to win one game to confirm the title is theirs. Do you see any reality in when we win the Premier League?
Look, the same way Doctor Strange said that there was like a 1 in 14 million chance.
Shit. I don't like those odds, bro.
Yeah. So let's have a look at City standings. So City have got, oh, Jesus Christ, one of the easiest runs ever.
Yeah, my brother sent me the games, and he was like, "Oh, you guys can still win." I'm like, "No, man, no, bro, we can't." So for the benefits, go on, Sean, you tell them.
they've got Newcastle, they've got Brighton, and they've got Everton, and so Newcastle are currently 14th, Brighton are currently 15th, and Everton are currently 8th. Now, obviously, I'm pretty sure we lost to Newcastle, and I'm pretty sure it was the Newcastle game where Fred and Maguire had absolute blunder, where their brains decided to leave their heads and were like, "No, it's my ball," and that's what happened there. Brighton, Maguire got his brain back, went to the referee, said, "Lads, give us an extra couple of minutes on a penalty. Yeah, I'll sort you out in Greece for life." All right.
You know what? Yeah, like people who aren't Man United fans, yeah, this is what they know. That's one thing that they know, and then just run with that. Like Maguire cheating, Fernandes only scoring penalties. I mean, Maguire definitely did something to like entice that referee, because how did we score? Yeah, after the whistle had blown, even Sir Alex wasn't that lucky.
mate, like literally. So you see how I think it was in not the Sheffield United match, the match after, I can't remember who we played, and it was like, "Oh, I can't give you a penalty because of the fans will get involved." Yeah, I feel like this is one of the ones where Maguire's gone to him. If you don't give us this penalty, the fans are going to get involved.
Don't worry about this. I can make it all go away. I think Maguire had a standout performance there, getting the penalty. I think that's his highlight so far. But
full-time whistle had blown. They restarted the match.
Bro,
how do you get the match restarted?
This is
there was like the third officials was already in their car. They were driving home.
Yeah, Graham Potter didn't even see the goal go in. Like, he was giving the congratulations, man. Yeah, he was gutted when he saw that on TV.
Oh, jeez.
Arsenal fans hate us. Like, matches like that, situations like that are why they hate us.
Yeah, but then you have Arsenal and Liverpool scoring in the 112th minute and bullshit like that. Like, what do you expect? Like this, like I think it was either this season or last season, right? I think Arsenal and Liverpool, between the two of them, they'd scored most of their goals in the final like 15 minutes. And when I say final 15 minutes, I mean from the 85th minute onwards. There's like the amount of goals that they come back from 92nd, 95th, 96th, 97th. Like legitimately, I can't remember what match. I think it was a Liverpool match. 102nd minute. When I saw that, I was like, how do you get 12 minutes added on to a match? Like 6 and 7 minutes still blow my mind, but it's like if you had a really bad injury, I can kind of understand it. But how much bullshit needs to go on for you to score in the 102nd minute to a match that you were losing just to get a draw? Match.
You know what? I don't want to believe it because I want to believe football is 100% legitimate. But the day that it comes out that the Premier League has scripted matches like the WWE, my word, scenes, the absolute scenes.
It's literally one of the ones. It's like, lads, I'm adding on as much time as I can. Just get a goal. The moment that you score, we can end this. Yeah, it's like for 15 minutes.
Sir Alex
come on,
did that.
Come on.
Sir Alex definitely did that.
The thing is, my theory on Sir Alex, obviously you could see by his nose he was a man who loved wine, right? He's out here, offering them a nice like 1942 Bordeaux, being like 5 minutes. That's all we're asking for, just 5 minutes, make it happen, yeah. And you have a 1912. I think Chevrolet's like a car in it, but fuck it, 1912 Chevrolet.
Chevrolet's not sponsor, bro.
It's the only thing I could think of. It sounded fancy.
I mean, if man's offering cars, no wonder why we're getting 20 minutes extra time. Oh my word. Let's touch on the other games. That delayed match against Liverpool is going to happen on Thursday. What's your prediction for that? Bear in mind, we have to win all of our games to be even in consideration.
The matches that we've had so far with Liverpool, we played respectful, and then they tried going attacking on us because we played respectful, and then we beat them on the second match. I feel Liverpool are gunning for top 4. They're going to be attacking again, and because of that, I can see us winning 2-1.
Fair enough. I would be very impressed if Liverpool got top 4. I agree with you. I think Liverpool are going to try and attack us, and because of that, we are probably going to win. So I'm going to say 1-0 again. 1-0. And yeah, I just want to win every game, man. Like at least force City to win a game. I mean, they will. Like as we said, Newcastle and Brighton. That's 6 points. They don't even need to play their first team against Everton.
To be fair, like they're going to beat Brighton. That's the 3 points, and then they're just going to have the reserve team out for the last 2 matches. Right? Yeah. Just get some players some training time. To be honest, but you were saying that you're surprised about Liverpool. Liverpool are only 6 points behind Leicester, and if we beat Leicester, they're suddenly only 3 points behind. So it's very doable in like Liverpool sense of like they have a game in hand over Leicester as well. They've got 4 games, whereas Leicester only has 3.
And I just looked up their opponents. I've looked up their opponents. They have West Brom away, Burnley away, and Palace at home. So that's 9 points.
I mean, yeah. So as long as we can take the 3 points away from them, I'm happy with it. But yeah, it's a bit of a sticker one. It'd be very interesting to see if West Ham can stay 5th or even get to top 4 themselves.
I want West Ham in the Champions League, like legit. I want Moise up in the Champions League against PSG.
Mate, their group would be outstanding as well. It'd be like 3 absolute worldy teams. Like they would not have a single easy match in it.
Yep. They get Real Madrid, they get PSG and Bayern Munich.
Oh, it'd be a sight to behold. Literally, like they go to Bayern Munich, they're like, "We're the Irons, we can do this." Yeah, battered like 16-0.
Jeez, not 16-0. They're not Arsenal. Come on now, flipping heck.
No, but like the way I see it is, if they beat, was it Barcelona 8-2?
Yes,
they can handle like West Ham.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. Over 2 legs, yeah, maybe 16. Our second last game in the Premier League will be against Fulham at home. My goodness. How much are we going to win, Sean?
You know what? Yeah, Fulham. Where are they in the table right now? They're down the bottom, aren't they? They are currently 18th. You know what?
Ooh.
You know what? I'm seeing another 9-0. I'm giving them that Southampton treatment. Cavani get 5 goals.
I was just doing some quick maths, and I was assuming that Fulham were already relegated. I don't think they are.
So they are 9 points behind. Burnley need to lose all 3. No, they got 4 games as well. They'd have to lose all 4. Yeah, so Burnley needs to lose all 4 matches, and Fulham need to win at least 3 just to catch up.
Yeah, I think we're beating Fulham. I'm going to say 3-0, but I would love to see 9-0. I think if we put our first team out, which we won't, I think if we did, we might see 9-0. Like, why not? Make some more history. And why not? Because it's our final game of the league. We're going to Wolves. I bloody hate Wolves. What's your prediction for that one?
You know what, yeah. Okay, so hang on. So the scores that I've given currently, I said, what was it? 3-0 against Leicester?
Yes.
Yeah. So that puts us up to 34. 2-1 against Liverpool. That puts us up to 35. 9 against Fulham puts us up to 44. Right. So we'd still be 2 goal difference behind at that point. So we would need to go into that match and win like 5-0. Just 50.
5-0. I don't see that happening.
5-0.
You know, Wolves play like they play with a back 6.
Here's the thing, right? We love that long counter-attacking football sometimes. Yeah, just like American soccer. Yeah, kick it over the wall, and then we just have a player waiting there for it.
Is your prediction 5-0?
Okay, no. So realistically, yeah. So we're two goal difference behind Man City with them losing everything, or yeah. Oh no. So actually, if they lost, so let's say they lost 1-0 in both games and then drew the other one, right? So they would actually be on 44. We'd actually be level with them at that point, right? So cheeky 1-0 just to get the 3 points.
You're including a 9-0 though, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
God damn it!
All right, okay, fair play, yeah, fair play. 6-0 against Fulham.
Oh my God.
4-0 against Wolves. There you go.
4-0, yeah.
4-0 against Wolves, and that gets us a title.
I mean, anyhow, we win the league this year. I'm sorry, I know I'm against the Glazers, but I am buying the 2021 jersey, and I'm doing a celebration knee slide on concrete. I think we're winning 2-1, but we're not going to win the league.
Like, realistically, there's no way on earth that we win this league unless the aliens get involved.
Like, we need Harry Maguire to be given team talks to Newcastle and Brighton, because Everton are a good team and they could win. But like those 2 clubs, they need all the PEDs that they can get. They need to foul every man. They need to time waste all the foul throws, everything. You know that scummy little tactic when you have the ball in the corner on the 90th minute? Yeah, do that as well.
Mate, do that from the first minute. Literally, just get the ball, just wait in the corner. It's all 10 men in the corner, yeah? So you can't make their way through it.
No, Pep will find a way. He's a madman.
He'll have players crawling between their legs just to get the ball out.
That is it. They'll be playing they'll be playing on their backs. They're mad.
Oh, Jesus.
That leaves the 26th of May, the end of the month. The Europa League final. We are going to be away against Villarreal in obviously a neutral venue. Your predictions. Unai Emery. Go on.
I was going to say, Villarreal are a very good team. So you have to keep that in mind. Fuck's sake.
Jeez.
What did I do? I'm
You know,
quoting the
you know
man.
what you did. You know what you did.
I'm quoting him. Direct quote. Word for words.
Bar for bar. I was literally going to say Emery is a serial winner of the Europa League. I think he's got at least 4 of those trophies in his cabinet. So he knows how to win the Europa League.
Yeah. Like, I'm not going to disrespect him the same way that Tyrone does. At the same time, I feel like we definitely could win it. I feel like he doesn't pay attention to Ollie's football enough to know how we play now. And we've seen it time and time again. Any football team that comes at us attacking, we generally beat. Like, the moment that you leave the defence open, we know how to get past that. The moment that you put a wall in front of us is when we struggle. Obviously, we still have one time here and there, but we can't deal with a solid back line. And I feel like, obviously, it's a final. You need to score goals to get a final. He's going to be attacking, and that's going to be our way in. So I can see us winning because he doesn't know about Ollie ball. And that's the only thing that gives us the edge.
What's your result?
3-2, because we ain't got a defence.
We do now.
Ooh, we do now, we do now. 3-1.
Oh, okay.
3-1.
I'm torn between 3-1 and 4-1.
To who, though?
I mean, good evening. I mean, Villarreal are a very good team, but we're smashing them, man. I'm not like, I'm going to be respectful first. Emery is very good at managing. He knows how to win the Europa League.
Mm-hmm.
And Villarreal are obviously a competent team because they knocked out Arsenal. That's where the respect ends, because we're going to beat them, because we're a good team. We're good in Europe. We're better in Europe than we are in England, which is a mad thing to say. But I don't think a team like Villarreal has the components, the players, the tools to combat all of our players. And I think we're going to save our best players for that game. De Gea in goal, Luke Shaw, Wan-Bissaka, Greenwood, Rashford, Cavani, Fernandes, Pogba. They're all going to be playing that game, bar injury or suspension. And I think those players are going to overrun Villarreal. And this is going to be mighty embarrassing if we lose. But I have so much confidence in those players, in those men. I 100% believe that our players are going to go out there and beat Villarreal. It's either going to be 3-1 or 4-1 because we're going to concede just because we don't like clean sheets. I'm going to say 3-1. I'm going to stick to my gut. I'm going to agree with you, Sean. 3-1 is the result. We're going to lift up that piece of tin and we're never going to be in that competition again.
Oh, I can only hope. The day that we stop being in the Europa Cup is a happy day indeed.
Bruh. I can't stand it. I just don't like it, man. Having to go to these random countries and play these random teams with players who I think are part-time. It's mad, man.
Things like, thinking of my childhood, right? We've lifted up 2 European Cup final trophies, and I'm like, yes, this is what football's about. Yeah, you beat all kinds of teams there. You might have the random one who's managed to squeak their way through. Yeah, like they had a bye and they managed to get through to a semi-final. It just happens sometimes. Yeah. But like, to be going against those kind of teams on a regular basis, it doesn't feel good. I want the heavy hitters. I want to test our players against the best of the best. Because it's all well and good saying that, oh yeah, we can compete for first in the Premier League. We're competing to be in Europe and that. But saying that and actually living it is 2 very different things. And we saw with our performance in the group stage, cool, we had the players, but we still threw it away. So I'm hoping next season is going to be a good season for us, and it's going to be the start of something more, I don't know, more regular, more back to the day of old.
I think it will be. I think with the players that we've got coming back from injury and a lot of players are gonna be looking to move on in the summer, I believe. Like just in like the real world with normal people with normal jobs, I think there's gonna be a mass exodus of people leaving their clubs and stuff. I think maybe not at the high level so much, but I do think like Harry Kane's definitely leaving. I believe. I think Haaland is definitely leaving. Aguero's leaving. So
Sancho.
I think. Yeah, apparently for the third year in a row.
To be fair, I actually saw something recently saying that the director of Dortmund actually said that they have an agreement with Sancho that he can leave on certain specs, whereas the agreements with Haaland do not exist. There is no contract anywhere stating that Haaland wants to go or is looking to leave, whereas with Sancho there is written contracts stating that as long as he does certain things and meets certain requirements, he is allowed to leave the club.
Yeah,
So
that's fine with me. I'm happy to get Sancho instead of Haaland. But I think there is going to be a lot of opportunity for us to bolster up our squads. I think that is going to be the key. Obviously, Greenwood's going to be a much better player over the season. Hopefully, we let go of Dan James, and then we fully fine-tune our squad to be in a top 1, top 2, top 1 club.
Also, just before we end, Andy, so obviously Aguero is going. The word is that he's going to Argentina to end off his career the same way Cavani did. We snatched up Cavani. Would you mind a cheeky free agent Aguero for 1 season?
Now, if you're talking about me, I would definitely have him just so I could play him against City. And he's going to score goals because he's like the problem is his age now is not his ability. It's never been his ability. So that's just more options for us. Even if we do use him in Carabao Cup and FA Cup, as opposed to the Premier League, that's just another option off the bench or another option to start with. Yeah, I'll definitely have him. Oli has been on the record and said he doesn't want to sign Aguero. He doesn't believe in City players going to United and vice versa, even though there are tons of United players who have gone to City. But I digress. Oli has said that he doesn't want to sign him, so I am not holding out any hope for Aguero in a red shirt.
Fair enough. I
did want to ask something really quickly at the end of this pod. Basically, one of our sponsors has pulled out. So the Hut Group, who own MyProtein, have pulled out of being our training kit sponsors. So MyProtein branding was going to appear where AON used to because AON's deal is expiring the end of June. This is apparently due to the fan protests. How do you feel about this? I feel quite torn, but how do you feel about this?
So I'm still pissed off that it happened and we're now having to face Liverpool this week instead of already having it done and over with. But if companies are actually paying attention to the protests, and I think the deal was at 200 million, it was a big deal. So if more things like this happen, I feel like there's better ways to do it because obviously we all love sport. We want to see it happen. Like there are ways around protesting things like this, especially in the manner that will actually affect the owners. Like they don't care if our players have to play four games in 8 days. They couldn't give 2 tosses. At the end of the day, they're still earning money. But if it's going to start affecting their bank accounts, then let it be, innit? That's where I stand. Fair
enough. I think I agree with that. I get why people protested. Now, I'm still not a fan of people throwing flares in Old Trafford. I think that's wholly stupid. I like that people are now taking, financial responsibility because I think I said this in the last pod. This is the only way I think the Glazers get kicked out of our club. They will have to sell the club because they're not making any more money off of it. And the Hut Group pulling out might be the first step of an absolute revolution. £200 million is a lot of money, and we don't know how much of that was going to the transfer budget. We don't know how much of that was going into the Glazers' pockets. But £200 million going down the drain, that's a lot of money. AON is pulling out at the end of June. And it's going to be difficult for us to find a new training kit sponsor. They have left us in a really bad situation. And I think, while this is going to hurt us short term, I think this is going to be the best for us long term. And I hope more sponsors can be brave and do this going forward, because I think if enough sponsors pull out, that is going to be the warning signs for someone to come in and buy this club from the tyrants, the Glazers. Those are my thoughts.
I agree. Obviously, like, it could be the domino effect that we're looking for. So if it is, praise be Jesus.
What would be mad is if someone like paid £350 million to be a sponsor instead, because that's when the problem doesn't get fixed, and that's like the cynics' argument against protesting. But yeah, we'll wait and see. Thank you for joining me on this pod, Sean. Do you have any final words as we go off?
Everyone stay safe. COVID lockdowns are nearly over. It's not that long left. We're going to have football back. We're going to have our world back. And things can only look up from here.
Very nice. Wholesome and surprising. Not surprising. Thank you, everyone who listened to this podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to Red Devils Advocates. Hit the bell so you get notified every time we drop a video. Please follow us wherever you listen to your podcast, whether that be Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Let us know if you listen to us on another platform so we can find out how to reach you. Make sure to follow us on Twitch, Red Devils Advocate. Tyrone will be discussing all of his theories in uncut glory every Wednesday and Sunday from 5 p.m. BST. Make sure you find out your local time for our streams. But until then, take care of yourselves and your loved ones. We will see you on the next Red Devils Advocate podcast. Take care all.
Bye.